Well, good morning. It is the 1st of July 2021, and welcome to another daily devotional. This morning, as I was with Jesus, I was in Joshua chapter 3. This is what it says from verse 1. Then Joshua rose early in the morning, and they set out from Shittim, and they came to the Jordan, he and all the people of Israel, and they lodged there before they passed over. At the end of 3 days, the officers went through the camp and commanded the people, as soon as you see the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God being carried by the Levitical priests, then you shall set out from your place and follow it. Yet there shall be a distance between you and it about 2,000 cubits, that's about a kilometer, in length. Do not come near it, in order that you may know the way you shall go, for you have not passed this way before. In the life of the church, globally and locally, we haven't passed this way before. We're coming towards the end of another lockdown, and restrictions are gradually being eased. But the very worst thing that the church could do would be to go back to the way things were before. God has been moving, God has been active, and He has been speaking so loudly to His church in this season. And this is a season of crossing the Jordan, of moving from one time to another time, from one season to another season. This is not a time to be wandering in the wilderness anymore. This is a time to be crossing the Jordan and taking land. See, the people of Israel had gone the previous 40 years wandering through the wilderness. Moses had led them in that time. And they were there for 40 years because of their unbelief, because of fear. Joshua and Caleb were two of the spies that got sent out to spy out the land. And 10 of the 12 spies came back with a report of the land's great, but there's giants in the land, and we're scared. Joshua and Caleb had the Spirit of the Lord, and they're like, no, we can take them. We can take them. So Joshua is leading this army. He's leading this people, and they're about to cross the Jordan. But he says to them, follow the ark. Follow the ark of the covenant. Keep your eyes on the ark, because we've never been this way before. And the only way in which we're going to move forward in these days is if we're following the presence of God. Not going back to old models, not going back to old structures, not going back to old ways of doing things. It's the presence of God which is paramount. And following the presence of God is the way that the church has to go in these days. Now, there were much more battles to be fought in the promised land than there were in the wilderness. And there was a shift that needed to take place in the mentality from being provided for and wandering about the place so that, they had their food given daily in manna, they had quail, their clothes never run out, until the day they crossed the wilderness, and that all stopped, and they needed to gather stuff. And they needed to hunt stuff, and they needed to feed themselves. And they needed to take the land. Folks, we're stepping over the Jordan. And this has been a process of stepping over the Jordan. And we want to make sure that all the people are coming over the proverbial Jordan as well. Because there is a land to be taken. There is stuff to be taken for the kingdom. And there's still giants. The giants haven't gone away. But he who is in us is greater than he who is in the world. Only do not fear. Folks, we have never been this way before. And it's absolutely vital that we learn to follow the presence of God, because He is faithful and a covenant keeping God. Have a great day.